If you're a purist, you're gonna poop your pants. This is gonna be painful. Pinky bought this FJ40 2F when he was 18. He's 35 now, so when you're 18 you bought it.
Yep.
And it was beige.
It was 100% stock.
It had a hard top, the 2F.
Drum brakes all around.
It was beautiful, rust-free, beautiful collector little item. Yeah. And what the hell has happened, mate?
I got the bug. I got the modification bug.
And you went wheeling hard. I've wheeled with Pinky. We wheeled back in 2014. I think we did Glass House, the Springs, all over. There's a community in southeast Queensland, so we've known each other for years. And you used to have a 250 crossflow in this.
Certainly did.
What made you put the crossflow in?
It was cheap at the time to do that conversion, and the 2F had 44 horsepower.
44 horsepower, good buy. And now, today we're going to go around this whole vehicle. I actually need your help for this because you have built this yourself, from the loom, the engine, the turbo, the bar work, everything. And now the 250's gone, why and what have you gone with?
The 250 was getting a bit tired, a bit worn out, so...
You wheel pretty hard, so I've seen it. You worked it hard?
Yeah.
Dead.
Yeah, you got a good flogging.
Yeah, and what do you got?
It's now a Barra.
Barra turboed.
Barra turbo.
And you put it in, why the Barra?
Cheap. It was a $200 motor at the time.
Yeah, wow. Wow.
So, yeah.
And it's got to be, the power's got to be a reason too.
It's got more power than the 250 had, and better fuel economy.
Yeah, you were talking, you were talking about 350 horsepower at the moment, or?
Roughly.
Yep.
Yeah, that's butt dyno.
Yeah. Well, I reckon we let's pop the hood open and have a closer look, and just talk us through what you've done. You've done all this yourself. There is so much going on under the bonnet. You've done it all yourself, all R&D. You've fitted stuff up from the loom, everything. Tell us about the engine and what you've plumbed up here.
Yeah, right. So it's an NA Barra motor, and then it had a turbo manifold from eBay stuck on it. Turbo came across from the old 250 Crossflow, which ironically was actually from one of these motors in the first place.
Yeah, okay.
And it's got a frozen boost water to air intercooler, just because there's no room at the front to really stick something and big air to air in there. And
your temps are good so far?
So far they're good.
Yep.
We've had a couple of hot days I've been driving it around, hasn't been too bad. The radio is actually the factory 2F one.
Yep. You've made all this, have you? All your shroud?
Well, yeah, the shroud's modified. It's one of the ones I picked up from you.
Yep.
Had to cut and shut a little bit at the front to make the water air intercooler fit in.
Yep.
It's got factory 2F rubber engine mounts as well, just because parts are easy to get for those still.
And that's what you had for the 250? You've just utilised that again, or?
Yeah, actually the engine mount placements are pretty much the same.
Yeah,
so
nice.
There wasn't a lot of fab work to be done there.
I see a few other little things. You custom the airbox yourself?
Yeah, had to do a custom airbox, and it wasn't anything that was really going to fit in that space.
Yep, but you've made it work. Yeah. I noticed the air compressor you were showing us earlier. We'll have a look back there, but you've got endless air on this one?
Yeah, it's just a modified aircon compressor that...
Yep, that saves room, carton compressor, and you've also got your locker one, and that's separate as well.
So there's an electric one to do diff locks and stuff in the back, and the big belt-driven ones just for pumping up tyres and running rattle guns. Very,
very nice. Now you also said that it's still got a lot of the factory loom in there, but you've spliced in a couple of other looms to make one. You done all that yourself?
Yeah, that was a headache. So it has got the factory 40 series harness in it for the headlights, tail lights, what's left of the dash.
Yep.
And then it has its own separate engine loom that runs just the engine by itself.
Yep.
And then there's a third sort of bits and pieces, like all the accessories that I've put on.
Finish it all off.
Yeah, to finish it off.
I like what you said, what's left of the dash. We'll go and have a look at that in a minute too. So you've got the high mount on there. I noticed you've got some controls on the outside to make it work, to talk to the inside as well. So
yeah, that's just, sometimes you're not in the car, you want to just free spool a little bit to start with. You don't have to walk back to the car and come back out the front again.
Yeah,
you
very
have to
cool.
run a cable across the bonnet.
And you built this to wheel. You're into four-wheel driving, so you've done the bar work at the front. I know you and mates have done the side scrub rails, the roll cage, which is plated in its day. It's all you've done that. Your hands on everything there.
Yeah, there's a lot of custom stuff in this car.
Yeah, and you're saying, we'll have a look soon, you're saying on the cards next, is it, you want to custom up a rear bar and...
Yeah, the back's looking a little beat up.
Yeah, we'll go around soon and have a look. We'll go into the interior, but you're here also at MrLandcruiser. You know we do the panel replacements, so we're gonna. There's a little bit of rusters on the cards next.
Yeah, that dirty word.
Yeah, but the main thing is you're wheeling it, you're using it. Cosmetics can come later. In 2 weeks' time, you're going to Claw. You're going to be wheeling at where's that again? Landcruiser Mountain.
That's at Landcruiser Park
Yep.
here.
So you'll be up there wheeling within a matter of weekends.
Yep, next Friday.
Yeah, that is mad. I said there's a lot going inside. I think we better go and sit in the seats, and we might even kick her in the guts too. Let's go and have a look. So before we jump inside, while we're standing outside, I thought I'll come a little bit going on back here, a little bit of custom stuff. So here's where you want to put the rear bar. You've got no space for a spare tyre at the moment.
No.
None. And you said that's why you got the endless air. If you have to fix it or pump them up. Obviously he takes one camping with him and stuff, but Pinky is going to build the new bar to house this thing has 35s when you wheel, is that right?
Yeah, big 35s, big offsets.
So we're keeping it legal on the roads, but as soon as you get to a park or off-road, boom, on with the big boys. And this car is all steel. You've got to remember everything, it's all steel. It's all of its original panels are still on there. The doors have been modified, and I think you've swapped one door.
I swapped a door for the hardtop, which I regret doing.
Yeah, well, a hardtop's probably worth big money now, and you swapped it for a door. So
yeah.
it shows how things have changed over the years. Even years ago, all our wrecks were $800 each, and they had power steer and all sorts of stuff. So things have really changed. We used to get these. What did you pay for the whole car in the day?
Oh, $3.5 grand.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Purists would hate that one too. It'd be worth a lot now. But also show us, I love his toolbox. I couldn't get it open, so Pinky had to show me what he'd done. It's hooked up to his air, it's all on struts, it's got the lights in there, all the recovery gear in there. And then I went to close it, if you want to turn her off. Yeah. I went to close it, he's saying, no, don't push on it. He's jimmied it all up to struts as well, so...
we'll come down when it's ready.
Yep, when the air's decompressed, is that right?
Yeah,
and then she's down again. So, and over here we have our endless air, so he just runs his hoses and inflates the tyres back up after you go wheeling. And a couple of fire extinguishers. Have you had to use them yet?
No, not yet.
I've seen some of your wiring, so we'll see what happens after this first four-wheel drive. You might get to break them out, hey?
Yeah, hopefully not.
Hopefully not. Let's go take a look inside. This is so cool, and this is where I need Pinky's help. There is so much going on this dash. I can see the obvious. We got your it's written lockers, front, rear, compressor, winch, winch in and out, some of your gauges. But what is going on with all these switches up above?
Well, all the ones up top. This turns the winch buttons on out the front we were talking about earlier. This one is for the water to air intercooler, turns the pump off. This one turns the thermo fan off for water crossings.
Yep.
Endless air pump. This one turns the radio on when you don't want the keys in the ignition.
Very nice.
And that one's a horn.
Very important to have a horn. Let's listen. So that it's not that little Toyota horn. It's this one. Holy hell! So that's all on compressor as well.
Yeah.
And talk me through the stereo. I've only ever seen them in boats, so I'm guessing it's a marine one.
Yeah, I went through a few stereos in this thing. Whenever it rained and the dash leaks on some of the
soft
old
top,
girls,
and you plant it in water every now and then, or bog holes, not water.
Yeah,
not river crossings, but I have seen it in a bog hole.
Yeah, I killed a few stereos, so I thought, screw it, I'm gonna go with the boat one.
Marine one, and you've got your UHF down there. Underneath me, you're telling me about the fuel tank. Is it? It's not a factory size one, is it?
It is a standard fuel tank, but it has a aftermarket drop-in.
It's a fuel
high pressure pump.
Yeah, and that drops in the tank.
Yeah, you got to cut a big hole in it.
Yep.
But,
plumber in.
Yeah, it all gets plumbed in. It's all neat and tidy.
Excellent. Also beside me, you got the fridge, keep the sandwich and the tinnies cold.
Yeah, got to have that.
And this stick, what's underneath? What box is hooked up to the Barra?
It is a factory 5-speed from a 75 Troopy.
75 Troopy. So it's the ones we use in all the conversions here, the H55F.
Yep.
And that. And no, I see you don't run carpets or mats or anything fancy. It's you wheel this thing.
Yeah, it's easier to clean this way.
Yeah. Do you trailer it out, or are you going to wheel it out to location?
I drive it everywhere. I haven't got anything big enough to tow it with.
I'm going to kick it in the guts. We might take it for a drive soon. but I'm going to kick it in the guts and have a listen, and then we'll jump back out. Oh yeah, that sounds sweet. That is very, very nice. How about we go for a squirt in it now?
Yeah, why not?
Excellent. Well, that was mad. That was absolutely fantastic. I didn't go to its full capabilities. One, I'm not allowed. Pinky hasn't wheeled it yet. That's coming up very soon. And two, I was a little bit nervous. She's got some power, mate. It was a big pleasure to drive. A couple of things I didn't mention. I found a spare pedal. It's got the fly-by-wire electric pedal, and it goes with the engine. Very responsive, but I asked Pinky why is there a spare one, and it's basically because he's always in a bog hole, so he carries a spare pedal. And I see you've integrated the original 40 series.
You've got to make it look the part.
It looks the part, mate, so you keep a spare one with you. And when we hopped out, Pinky was also telling me about your, tell us about the sliders.
The sliders are not just sliders. It incorporates a bash plate that goes right across under the gearbox.
The whole car covers.
Thing.
Yep.
It's made out of 6mm, weighs about 68 kilos.
68 kilos and 6mm. That's a fair bit of steel under there. That's great. And you're saying you've bashed it around heaps.
I've had the whole car off the ground on it.
Yeah, that is very, very cool. So, in a couple of weeks' time, you'll be wheeling this, you'll be testing it, and then seeing if it's set up, seeing if you have to do anything. But finally, how long's the build taken?
Oh, about 2 years.
2 years on this engine, but he's done it all himself, the engine, the cooler, the loom, just everything. And before that, he built the whole car himself. So true testament to a hands-on guy that's supported MrLandcruiser along the way. So I think it's time I come and shout you a beer, mate. Definitely. You beauty, let's go have a drink.